Check 1, 2. Check 1, 2. Check 1, 2. Okay, let's see. Check, 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 check. So, yeah, so today has been interesting, to say the least. Page, there we go. You can hear me. Good. The question is, how is the lip sync? And excuse the background noise, sorry. All out of lemonade today. And wouldn't you know it, the guy decides to come by and start mowing right about now. So there we go. So yeah, we're on the road this week, Sandy and I. And we are kind of where we are. We're at a campground. And so we're just sort of making the best we can with this situation. So very quickly, I know showtime is approaching, but we're using Logitech C920 for the main camera. I've got a portable green screen behind me, and behind that is a street. Video is out of sync. Oh, good. Well, that's what I wanted to know. So let's assume that the audio is out ahead of the video. Let's slow that down. So let's go into our settings. And we're doing a remote call. Let's add 50 milliseconds. So check 1, 2, check 1, 2, check 1, 2. You guys tell me what you got there. Yes, Tom is outside. It's in sync for John. Okay, thank you, sir. Great. Let's see how we're doing the rest of in sync. Yeah, somebody always starts mowing. Yeah, we are in St. Petersburg, Florida. Yes, technically we're in St. Petersburg, Florida. Came down for a quick trip to see, I've got a boy in Tampa and a boy in St. Pete, and then I've got 2 grandchildren who are in St. Pete, so it's a quick trip to see them. In sync for me, thank you, Kevin. And during the course of the show, it will probably go out of sync because we're trying different mics, and I haven't had a chance or haven't taken the time to set those up as different, what would you call it, different latencies? Yeah, so different delays. So I'm using just an overall delay. Let's start the show and I'll tell you all about it. Hey Chris, welcome. Let's see, can we, there's that lawnmower. So this would be a good test. This would be a good test of the noise filter. So let's do this, let's do this, and what the heck, let's try this. Oops, just turned on some audio here. And we are ultimate long rig. We are coming to you live. This is Streaming Idiots. I'm Tom Sinclair, coming to you live from St. Petersburg, Florida, an undisclosed location. We are outdoors in a campground, and they've just decided to start mowing all of the weed areas. I would call them grass areas, except that would be just that would be too generous. So yeah, and then we just kicked it into hired here. We use the portable green screen, so I'm actually at a picnic table with an umbrella above me, and my Logitech C920, a combination of Velcro and duct tape, I got some gaff tape, to the umbrella stand in front of me, and then I'm in a wonderful, very comfortable Adirondack chair with portable green screen. You can see a little anomaly right there. What happened to my background? Did the background go completely somehow? Oh, you know what? I outsmarted myself. I did the color key in. Let's try this. Hold on one second. I did the color key here on my local vMix machine, and I think that's what says mess things up. So let's see that. Let's take that out. And so now we've got that. We'll go and see remote. I'm doing a remote broadcast, and I'm using my Microsoft Surface as my vMix PC on a vMix call back to my studio. Let's see if I can get this right here. 1 second. Come on. Oh, I see what's happening. Let's try it this way. Sorry about that. Half cocked as usual. That, and so yeah, got a little bit of something. Kind of keyed it out, and then kind of not keyed it out. And that wasn't even the purpose of the show. So, again, coming to you remotely, lawnmower in the background. And this is a perfect opportunity to test a thrown together rig. So the Microsoft Surface here is using my cell phone to communicate to the internet. And then I'm using, what's it called? It's called TeamViewer to connect to my studio back in Alabama. And then I've got vMix here set up as a vMix call. I'm joining a call back in the studio, back home. I am initiating the call. So it's live streaming and recording from the studio back home. But I'm just a caller here, even though I'm remotely controlling it. I know the problem is to set up like this in the past. The problem is that I didn't bring my good headset. So I have cobbled together everything I can think of that has a microphone in it. And I think right now I'm actually using the microphone array that's built into the, excuse me. Oh, goodness gracious. I'm using a microphone array that's built into the Microsoft Surface. I've also got the opportunity for the Logitech C920, and then for these inexpensive, i.e. cheap, this cheap headset, it's not the one that came with my Galaxy phone. That's the one I can't locate. So, all of that as a preface to say, we want to have the best audio we can from this remote location with these various microphones. And we want to get rid of as much ambient noise as we possibly can. We've got birds chirping, we've got air conditioners running, we've got, there's actually about a 30-mile bike trail that runs around the city, and it is right over there. There's a fence between us and the bike trail, but every now and then you get, and it's not just a bike trail, it's a running trail, it's a walking trail. And every now and then you hear somebody come puffing by. So the question is, if I were on a more professional presentation, what would be the best way for me to do my audio in this kind of limited audio situation? I had thought that it would be this headset, and we're going to test this in just a minute. I knew it would not be the Logitech C920. We'll test that in just a minute. And I didn't think it was going to be the Microsoft Surface. But that turns out, I mean, we'll fast forward then, that turns out to have been the best solution. But let me let you hear the others. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to my local PC right here, the Microsoft Surface, and I'm going to change, and I'm running vMix here, actually vMix 63 here, but 66 back home. And I am using the microphone array with 100% of, in fact, let's just set up the desktop here. So, desktop capture, so you can see. Just capture the display. There we go. Let's send that to output. So you can see now this is what I'm doing. And currently the microphone array number 2 right here is the let's see, make that a bit smaller. Well, I guess it's okay if it fills up the screen. That's the idea. But that's not actually what I want. It's to turn the audio mix and to go into the array. I had to rename these because they all said audio microphone. So in order to be able to get the right one, there we go. All right, so this is the audio settings for the microphone array. Let's put it up here so it's not so distracting. And then we've got plugins, and our plugin, oh, we don't have a plugin here. That's right, the plugin's on the other end. We don't have anything here. So we're completely raw audio here. All right, so forget about that. Let's go back to where we were. We'll go back to our remote PC. And we'll set up a quick desktop capture there. Let's add an input, desktop capture. I think this is display 1. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, here we go. So let's set that up. That's display 1. And this will be really easy. So what I've got here for you is the audio settings for the vMix call. And the plug-in is the Waves Audio NS1 noise filter. And currently the noise filter is at 100%, which sometimes produces a little audio anomalies. And I'm going to reduce that to 0% so that you can hear what's here. This is what the microphone array hears. Bird chirping in the background, mowers further in the background, runner running by. He was pretty quiet. This is what the microphone array hears. We're going to leave the NS1 filter at 0. We're going to go back here to the local PC. Let's take that off for just a second. This, yeah, there we go. And then we'll put the NS1 back up there. Okay. All right. So we got that there. And you can kind of get an idea of what's going on here, pre and post. There's nothing happening pre and post. We can run the filter up to 100%, and we can see that there's a little, is there a little bit of change? Yeah, it probably depends on how much background audio there was to begin with. You can see the orange dial here is the amount of noise it's going to take. So let's take it all the way back down to 0, and we'll go back to the local PC. And I'm going to change the audio source here. And the audio source here currently is the microphone array. And let's change it over. Yeah, I'm going to mute this one for just a second. And now I'm on the headset. And I think the headset is awful. Excuse me, that's just me. Now, I am currently not monitoring this. And I'm going to come back over here and we'll put on the NS1 noise filter at 100%. When I did this earlier, I heard a screeching sound. You may see that, you may hear that, you may say, Tom, get rid of that. And yeah, I'm going to get rid of that. Let me turn it all the way down right here. Come back locally. Locally, where's our local? And we've gone back to the array temporarily. So let's go over to the Logitech C920. This is the Logitech C920, and as you can tell from it, it's probably a condenser microphone of some kind, but it picks up everything. You probably heard my cell phone chirp. You can hear a bird in the background chirp. The mowers have moved on. They're still in the background a little bit. You can hear a car. Yeah, car going in the background. Obviously, lip sync is going to be different from microphone to microphone. I'm not going to try to correct that. It's kind of dialed in for the laptop array. But let's add a noise filter to the C920 and see how that does. So that's about, whoops, come back here. That's about 50% right there, 50% noise filter. And now let's, for the sake of argument, let's run it up to 100% noise filter. So that's 100%. Breeze has picked up a little bit, so there might be a little breeze noise. But one of the benefits to the Logitech, I think, is that it's got a stereo mic, although I'm not seeing any difference really in this pattern as to what it is. So let's go back to the local PC, back to the microphone array. And that's the mic array. Yeah, let's close all this stuff in just a second. Percent moment, close that. Here. Whoops, not what I intended like that. There we go. Oh boy, hit the wrong button. And not have my XK80 with me today. So yeah, there's that. Turn that up a little bit. So let me hear from you. What do you think was the better of the two? I mean, I can hear see some comments here. Sounds like I'm in the shower. Sounds like digital noise, but it's more natural here. Let's run it back and see. Jan says, Tom, try the headset with the NS1 at about 20%. Okay, let's try that. So we're going to go back to the local and turn the headset as our active mic. The headset is now the active mic. Now we're going to go back into we'll go ahead and throw this up here so you can see. We'll go back into the vMix call, and we're just adjusting the NS1 on the vMix call. It's at 100%. We're going to dial it down to 20. Okay, that's 20% on the NS1 with the headset mic. What do you think, Jan? Is that better or not better? Now, I was hearing a screeching, and when I did a recording earlier, I heard the screeching. So you're saying that this is better than the microphone array? Jan says the headset seems to be the cleanest, but there is a high frequency source of noise. I agree with both those. I do agree it's the cleanest, but you know, what do you do about the high frequency? Do we go into the EQ and we try to pull down one of the frequencies in the EQ? We could try that. Let me turn on the headset so I can actually hear what you're hearing. Close that for just a second. And I think I put that on the B channel. Check 1, 2. Nope. Probably be the B channel locally. So we've got B channel for headset. There we go. Yeah. Okay. So remotely, let's do it on your end. So go into the vMix call. We're going to go into the EQ. We're going to turn on the EQ, and let's try reducing one of these frequencies. No effect. Well, actually, we need to do it on my end, on the source, because otherwise I'm not going to be able to tell. So let's try again. Headset, and you can't see this one, I'm sorry. So we'll enable the EQ, and we're going to pull down the top frequency. Doesn't do anything. Now that had a little bit of effect, but I think it just pulled out some background noise. That's the 4K frequency, the 2K frequency. Let's reset them all, and I'm just going to bring the 2K. Bring down the 1K. That's getting a little better. I mean, basically we're cheating because we're just trying to find the frequency of that background. Now I'm getting into the mid-range. And that seems to have taken out all but just a tad of that background frequency. Yeah, there it is. What if we did a little bit of compression? Right about there. Check 1, 2. Check 1, 2. Check 1, 2. Check, check. Check, check. Check, check. Check. Right about there. Let's go back and reset the EQ. Go back to the compressor. Yeah, I can add a ton of compression, and I don't think I've really taken that away. I think I've just lowered the signal. So we're back to square here, and we'll take off that, we'll take off that, we'll take off that, and maybe bump these up a little bit just to try to compensate. Add a little bit of low. There we go. Check 1, 2. That's too much. Too much. Okay. Well, that is. Let me go back to your comments and see what you knows. Around 4K. Yep. Between 4K and 2K. Cut both the lowest and the highest. We can try that. I'm not sure that's going to give us any benefit to cut the lows, but let's try the lows. Cutting the 2 lows. Check 1, check 1, 2, check 1, check 1, 2, and I'm leaving the 500 and the 250. Check 1. That's an interesting sound, and again, that's the headset right here, and there's just the slightest little back noise. What do you think? Tim says your earbuds are not giving you a realistic sample. Really? Okay. Okay, so is it better than what I think or worse? And Jan says he also uses the Wish, WSH, he thinks. Too low now. I agree. Michael says no dynamics. There is, yeah, basically we're using the EQ to cut out everything but 2 mid-range signals. Worse now. Okay, well, let's get rid of that. And maybe the high pitch was worse for me than it was for you. Let's go back to the microphone array. And this is the microphone array. And let's go into the settings for that microphone array. Array. Yeah, this is what I hear. Okay. It's a little delayed. No plug-in here. You can hear the clicks, obviously. And if we come back to vMix on the production end, you can probably turn the clicks off. Run it up to about 50%. There we go. Got a little bit of buzz in the background, or a little bit of whir or hum, however you might describe that. It might even be just the wind sound. Yeah, I'm trying to find where this microphone actually is. Yeah, I don't see it, but it's somewhere in this area, right? The idea of this whole exercise is you're stuck. You've got to be MacGyver and use the tools you have available. Tim says the hum is not audible here. That's right. I think the hum, that high frequency hum, was in this set. That was a car in the background. And the rumble is probably a little bit of wind noise. There's a little breeze blowing across the microphones right here. But I really am interested in what you think of the Logitech C920 and if that's workable at all. Let's have a look at that. Okay, this is the Logitech C920. And I hear a ton of background. I hear a bird. I hear air conditioning. And let's take the noise filter and max it. A 100% on this filter. I can't hear what you hear because I'm just hearing what the Logitech is sending to this service that I'm working on, Mix client to my PC back in Fairhope, which is where the noise filter is located. Let me see if I can get the audio back to me so that I can hear what here. Let's see. Let's turn it off and turn that on. So check 1 2, check 1 2. Check 1 2. Let's turn it up right there. Hang on a second. Let's see if I can away myself. Turn that off for a second. That off for a second. Let's just bring that up. Where is the next call guy? Right there. Okay. Where is the call? What audio are we sending back to that guy? audio source is the master. Okay. Well, I don't want to send back the master because that's it doesn't have me on it. So let's use bus A. Send me back bus A. So let's turn the audio back on. Here is bus A right there. Check 1, 2. We're sending audio back on bus A. I'm not. Check. I'm not hearing a thing. Let's go back to the local setup. Hearing any, oh, well, we're not getting any audio here. That's why. So let's go back to the machine and see if we're sending any audio. On A, check. There's audio there present on A. Yep, there's audio present on A. It's not hugely loud, but it's there. Somebody just started a car next to me. Now we're not using any gain. I've got 50 milliseconds of latency. Return to something. Okay. So why are we not getting any audio going back over bus? It says it's going over bus A. Yep, right there. And the vMix call is sending its audio on bus A. It's not getting there. Well, and interesting, I've got video source to none, and I'm still getting video on the other end. So go back to the mixer here. Yeah, we're not seeing anything. It's not going anywhere on this end. We'll have to troubleshoot that later. All right. So, cuts out, lots of clipping, bad sound, a lot of background. Voice pattern is good. Hey, Dave. So you know, of the three choices, and let's go back to the microphone array because frankly I think that's the best choice. And probably the most listenable. So there we are. And we'll take ourselves off of that so I don't have to listen to myself. Of the three, the Logitech C920, the El Cheapo headset, or the microphone built into the Microsoft Surface, I would have to say the Surface is the most tolerable of the three. The headset got that high frequency hum, which apparently was worse for me than for you, but still, if I had to do a major presentation, excuse me, that wouldn't be the one I would choose. The Logitech C920, as you noted, is so sensitive, it picks up everything, and I'm having a hard time cutting the noise out of the background with it, so that wouldn't be my choice. So kind of my default choice is the Microsoft Surface microphone array as a, got the hiccups all of a sudden, as a tolerable choice, not a first choice or a second choice. Even though I got three choices to make, the last choice was the C920. Actually, both the headset and the C920 were my last choice, and the microphone array is my fourth choice. With choices 1 through 3 not being available. I guess I could have used my phone as a microphone source and done that through vMix call. I'll have to try that sometime. I'm not quite sure because I'm currently using that phone as my internet source. The internet here at the campground is 2 down, 1 up. the Verizon service here is amazing. It's 100, excuse me, it's 100 down, 50 up. So I've got plenty of bandwidth on the cell phone. I don't know if I can have a second. It's a golf cart. I don't know if I can have a second connection on it and still maintain internet. I know I can take a phone call, but I'm not sure. I guess I can surf the web. That's what a vMix call would be. But yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting to say that. Phone has NDI audio. Um, NDI audio would require a local area network, which I guess the phone is set up on the network for Wi-Fi to my laptop. Well, let's try it. If the stream goes down, we can blame it on Michael Quest. All right, let's see. We're going to go into apps, go into camera. Okay. See, I don't. Well, let's don't say C. Let's just go find out. Let's switch over to this for just a second. Oh no, we'll go back. That way you can see it. So we're going to add input, and it's going to be an NDI input. And there's bird dog. There's a spider running on the keyboard. So that's a bird dog. This is all the stuff locally back. Oh, well, yeah, it's not going to appear locally. I'll have to do it. I mean, it's not going to appear at the studio locally here. So you can't see that. I guess you could. But I just want to see it work. NDI. NDI. It's searching guy. Let's try NDI. Yeah, I don't think NDI HX. So audio source. Audio turn on. Okay. Let's change cameras. Set it right there. Okay. So, let's set it. Let's take camera change. There's that switched cameras. Okay, so the NDI camera with audio from phone, and of course I'm probably overloading everything. So just take that link, okay? And what do you think of the audio with that? This is on the phone. This is the NDI app. I'm not quite sure how it's making connect. It looks like you got a friend. This is the NDI app. getting clean audio? Is this good? Is this good? I don't know. Not sure. It does appear to be a frame, and not the bandwidth. The phone is the internet source of the laptop, and it's also sending NDI somehow to the laptop. Sounds cleaner almost, Michael. Okay. So other than the fact that my 15 frames a second, hey, Ed, now you can use this as an audio, as a microphone. Video source. Obviously, let's go it's got a little static in it that I can hear. So we'll take that out and we'll go back. So we'll use the Logitech C920 as the camera. We use the audio from the NDI in Samsung Galaxy. And you tell me, how do we look? I mean, right, Michael says, video specific frames, but of course, I've gone back to the C920, but it looks like it might be dropping some frames too. C920 for video, NDI for audio, going to Microsoft Surface, and then connecting the TeamViewer back to my studio. Have we made an improvement there? Michael says he thinks my voice sounds Samsung. Okay, thank you. Well, let's go back to the remote studio for a second. And I want to see what kind of audio kind of filter. So the NS1 active at run that down to about 50% and see, is the voice quality still good? Are we picking up birds in the background? Ed says you look dry. I'll bet the weather is as Jameson as it is in here in Warren. Like St. Pete, where it rains every day. I don't like the weather. So we had rain last night. We rain again this afternoon, but we're on the road. All right, thank you, Michael. Michael says more clear voice, birds can be heard. Okay. The NS1, yeah, and this guy's just right over there. I think he's waiting for a handout. If we add a little more NS1, maybe that's 75 right there, the bird that showed up on the telephone. So maybe the bird's out, but still gives enough clarity to be used. Interesting. Where is the microphone for this camera? The microphone for this camera. I'm sorry, the microphone for the phone is on the bottom, actually facing away from me. Says that we got some audio, and I believe that could be true because we're trying to do it over active wireless network. Yep. None of these is a good choice. that's really where we end up. Is it not one of these is a good choice. Not the Logitech microphone array built in the guy, or not my microphone NDI, and not this cheap headset. I do have another headset that actually sounds pretty darn good. I think I used it the last time I rode. So there. So now we have what we did before. Well, I thank you for tuning in today and helping me. What this is worthy. Now you soft mic. Oh, that's interesting because I pulled the mic, turned the phone, and turned it over. I'll turn it back. Yeah, Ed, it's just not a good choice. So, thank you in there with me and giving me some good feedback. I appreciate it. And we'll be back in the studio this week with a Rock'em Sock'em type of show, and hope you tune in for that. That's better. Thank you, Ed. It was interesting. Shall we say? So, thanks for tuning in, and see you next time. Can we say it? See you next time. See you next time. Thank you.